Today on the podcast, we have the lovely Kathy, who is the co-founder of Lichen Sclerosus Support Network and the founder of Lichen Sclerosus Podcast. If you live with lichen sclerosus, you definitely want to tune into this episode because it's healing just in itself. Today, we talk about what it can feel like to navigate this condition in the beginning, the experience of not feeling heard or supported, why getting the right information matters more than you think, the role of community in healing and feeling less alone, and how to start advocating for yourself in your care. This episode is absolutely fantastic, and I'm so excited for you to tune in. Don't forget that you can now get your ticket for the Wholistic Healing Summit. For more information, check the show notes. Now let's dive into this conversation. Enjoy. Welcome to the Pelvic Power Podcast. My name is Penny, and I am the host of this lovely space. I am a pelvic floor yoga teacher who teaches people with pelvic pain how to use movement, breathwork, and body awareness to ease and manage their pain while living a pleasurable life. In this space, we'll be talking about all things taboo because we love it, and how to support your lovely pelvis and your lovely self on this journey that you are on. I'm very happy that you are here, and I hope that you enjoy this episode. Welcome back to the Pelvic Power Podcast. I'm very excited that you are here today. Today we have the lovely Kathy from Lichen Sclerosus Support Network, and I'm so excited that she's here today. Hey, Kathy, thank you for being here today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm beyond excited. I love your work, and I love talking about lichen sclerosus and lichen sclerosus support network. So three of my favorite things all at one time. Who
Yay,
could
that
beat
makes
that?
me so happy. Yay. Yeah, Kathy and I have been friends for, what, 5, 6 years?
About 5 years.
No, I think it's a little bit longer than that. I think it's
Six.
like 6, 7 years.
Well, I started in 2020, but I was very intimidated to talk to you. So I kind of like, I was following you and I was like fangirling and I was like, she's so big and I'm just starting and I'm like so scared to talk to you that I didn't like really email you or DM you until like a year later. So
Oh,
it's
that's
been
so
about,
funny because I'm not intimidating at all. And also now you have grown to become so big. So it's so funny how it's like really perspective. But I'm so happy that we became friends. You're such an amazing person. And I love everything that you do for the community. And I know that people are so excited to hear about what you do for the community as well. So thank you for being here. I'm so excited to dive in. Okay.
yes.
So let's get started. I know that a lot of people that are tuning in, they either live with lichen sclerosus or they don't know what lichen sclerosus is. It's going to be a little bit of everything today. But let's start with for the people who do live with lichen sclerosus and they might not know you. Do you want to tell us who are you and how did you come up here? How did you land here?
Yeah. So I am the host of the Lichen Sclerosus podcast and co-founder of the Lichen Sclerosus Support Network. And I am an LS warrior as well. I've had LS now for 11 years, diagnosed for 6, and it was a journey. It took 5 years for me to get a diagnosis, multiple doctors, same story we hear a lot of the times. And once I did get my diagnosis, I was not given accurate information. So for another 3 years, I basically was treating incorrectly, which led to my condition progressing. It was only after it progressed that I started trying to find information. And of course, I went to Dr. Google and
That's where we all end up. That or
yep.
ChatGPT. Yeah.
Well, there was no chat GPT
Oh,
back then, but
we had Google.
um, so when actually looking back, it's been longer than that. But anyway, um, yeah, because back then there was no chat GPT. And when I went, I of course landed on like the Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic and reading about this condition. I was told this is no big deal, throw your steroids on as needed. And I did that. But reading, I was like, first off, there's these words that I knew nothing about, like what is dyspareunia and whatever the fancy word, medical word for itching is, whatever. I don't do
I
big
don't know
words.
either.
Listen, give me a medical term and you will hear it butchered to death. Okay. That's why I
Same.
have my cohort, Jacqueline. I'm like, Jacqueline, how do you say this?
That's what
And
happened when
I'm
she
like,
came on the podcast. I'm like, I don't know how to say that word. And she's like, fake it until you make it.
yeah. I'm like, yeah, what she said. And so, back then I didn't have Jacqueline. So I was literally highlighting, right click, search on Google, what does this mean? And trying to figure it out. And so while I was doing that, um, coincidentally, my husband and I had been in, preparation to start a podcast. And because of his schedule, my schedule, we just really couldn't find time to sit down together and record. And I got this, there's no other way to describe it, but like, no pun intended, but it was like an itch. And it was an itch that wouldn't stop in my soul. And for 3 nights, it was like, you need to do a podcast about lichen sclerosus. You need to research and put that information out there for other people, because I was told this is a rare condition. So I'm thinking, oh, I'm, one of a handful. And, in the back of my mind, I'm like, who's going to listen to this podcast? Me and the 100 other people. How are the other 100 people with LS going to find me? But this itch would not go away. And so on the third day, at the breakfast table, I told my husband, I'm going to do a podcast about lichen sclerosus. And he's like, you're going to go on a podcast and talk about your pussy? And
That's what we do here.
that's not the right term. Basically, yes. And he was like, and so that's what I did. And I started off, just interpreting what I could research. And that's my niche is I interpret, I learned the medical side of stuff. And then I like to say I'm like those yellow and black books. I'm the LS for dummies. Um, you know, and that's what I do is I take the medical speak and I bring it down to where anybody can understand it. And so from that, it's just grown. I started off having um, meetups, virtual meetups, and that's where I met Jacqueline. And Jacqueline literally we clicked as soon as we met. I slid up in her DMs. So she started following me on Instagram and I slid in her DMs and we just started talking. And it was coincidentally right around the time I had my first virtual meetup. And we've been inseparable since then. And I always say, she's the yin to my yang. She has like the medical speak, but she can also bring it down to layman's terms. And so once we started working together, it has been unstoppable and we're just getting started. So, LSSN, we started LSSN in August of 2021. And so we're about to be 5 years old. And ever since we've grown from, I think when we started LSSN, we had about 1,000 people on our email list, um, maybe about two on Instagram, and now we just did over 10,000 followers on Instagram,
Yay.
and we have over 5,000 on our email list. And this is just the beginning. I mean, our website alone, last year, we got over 235,000 people, unique people on the website. And that just tells you the reach is like so many people need this information. And so we are literally just getting started. And we have so many exciting things that we're going to do. Like
Yeah.
we're just starting to peek out of the cocoon.
Yay. I love this. And it also goes to show how you think that you're alone on this journey, but you have so many people that live with like sclerosis, and either they don't know it or we don't know about them. Like we don't know that they
Yes.
exist. So I think this is amazing, the work that you do.
Thank you. Yeah, we have to change the narrative. LS is not rare. Like, that is so wrong. LS is not rare. It is way more common than these doctors are saying. The people who see it all the time, the researchers, they know it's not rare. But we just have to turn up the volume so that the message gets out there to those who think they're not seeing LS, to let them know you are seeing LS. You're just not recognizing it,
Mm,
which is why we're starting. Well, we've already started with our next major project, which is our provider continuous education program. And we are literally creating the course that will teach providers how to diagnose, how to treat, how to follow up, and how to give this information to patients in a trauma informed way. Because our goal is to stop the medical trauma that's happening from, you know, going to multiple doctors, getting multiple misdiagnoses, not getting listened to, being dismissed. All of those things add to the stress. And what is stress? The number one trigger for lichen sclerosis
hmm.
flares. So
Yep.
we got to keep our stress down. And if the doctor's helping us, yeah, that's a win, right? And we getting people diagnosed earlier. We getting better management from the beginning. Because when we're not being treated properly, like myself, there's progression. I
Hmm.
lost half of my labia, my clitoral hood completely fused over. I started having like fissures, which I had never had before. And it was just like that the anatomy's not coming back, right? Those are irreversible changes. Um, Over the years, I have my clitoral hood has unfused, but my labia right now, there's no coming back from that. So we have to change how providers are treating and diagnosing LS so that more people get diagnosed earlier and get proper treatment from the beginning.
Definitely, definitely. It's so true. And what would you say to someone that goes to a doctor and either feels dismissed or they don't know a lot about lichen sclerosis, the doctor? How would you proceed with that doctor? What kind of information would you give them? How would you handle that situation?
Great question. The first thing I would do is, if you suspect you have LS or you've been told you have LS, is educate yourself first. Go to our website, lssupportnetwork.org, go to our overview page and start from there. That's going to give you a high level, what you need to know. And then you can drill in on like your particular symptoms, your particular treatment course that you want to investigate. Um, Maybe there's some secondary symptoms that are happening and you want some referrals to like a pelvic floor physical therapist. Whatever your situation is, we've got the information there to educate yourself and empower yourself when you go into that doctor's office. Okay. So then the second thing is, we created an appointment strategy guide. I will provide that for you so you can
That's
give
great.
it
I can
to
put that
the,
in the show notes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this has some like leading questions that you can develop for your provider. So it gives you like, it has like different sections to help you develop what are the questions that you want to ask your provider. So that way, when you go in there, you already know these are the 5 questions or whatever, however many questions you have, that before I leave this office, I'm going to have answers for, right? And then when you go in, you have to fake it till you make it, right? Sometimes we're depending on your personality, you could be very shy. It's funny,
And
I have one
scared,
daughter.
nervous. Yeah.
Yeah, one daughter, she one of my daughters, you have to pay her to talk to you. The other one, you have to pay her to shut up. So, you there's like extremes and everybody's different. But you want to try to be as confident in your knowledge and portray that to the doctor. Let them know you're not effing around and you came in here prepared and you're not going to leave until you get the care that you deserve. You get the answers, you get them checking your vulva, you get them letting you know exactly where you need to apply. What exactly is the treatment plan? How do I know what if something's going wrong? What are my next steps? Who do I call? All of these things, you got to know. I'm going in here, I'm getting my questions answered, and I'm not leaving till then. Or if they refuse, make them document it in your chart. They get
Yeah.
real nervous when you're like,
Very
okay,
important. Yeah.
you won't do this for me. I need you to document it in my chart that you refuse. And then guess what? Most of the time, they're gonna Uno reverse, and they're gonna be like, okay, we're we're gonna go ahead and do this
Fuck,
for
now I
you.
guess I have to help you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And the that's a great question because it comes up often. And actually, at this year's Holistic Healing Summit, which is our 5-day virtual summit, which Miss
Yeah.
Penny will be attending and presenting at for like the fifth year.
I think it's
Um,
the fifth year. Maybe. I don't know.
yeah,
I can't even keep track of how long we've been
I
friends.
think
So,
it's been the fifth year. Yeah, she's been with us a while. So fifth year. But this is where we bring the experts to talk to the patients and teach the patients and answer the patients' questions to teach you to give you the tools how to live with LS from a whole body approach because
yeah, we love
LS is
it.
not just a skin thing, it's a
Yeah.
mind thing, it's a pelvic floor thing, it's a nutrition thing, it's a stress and wellness
Yep.
thing. It's
Say it
all of the
louder. Yeah.
things. It's a relationship, it's a sex thing, it's all of the things. And so we're bringing the experts to talk about all of the things because our goal is to have people with LS thrive. We want
Hmm.
you to know if you go back to one of the earlier podcast episodes, I literally was like, this is a life sentence. My I was dramatic. Um,
We'll get to that part too because I have some questions regarding that too.
I was, but you know why? And I don't fault myself, and I don't fault anybody who is in that position. It's because we don't know. We're not given that information. So when we do look up the it on Dr. Google and we get these worst case
Or
scenarios,
or the Facebook groups. Oh my God.
oh, well, hello. I tried to get into the Facebook groups in the beginning and they wouldn't let me in. I don't know what the hell. I don't know if I answered one of the questions wrong, but they denied me. And so I was like, fuck it, then I'll just start my own community. And guess what, bitches? Here we are.
Yeah. No,
Not
and
that
I
I'm
love the
calling any
like
Facebook administrator bitches. It was totally just a
y-
slang.
yeah, no, I get that. And I love that because I've spoken about this on the podcast too, and I've mentioned it on TikTok because a lot of people that live with lichen sclerosis, they feel like this is a horrible way to live. Like, how am I going to make it through? And I love that part about LSSN because you bring such a positive outlook to the condition, and that's what I work with as well. And it's so important because you are more than your condition, but also there are ways to live around it and support it and feel like your most glorious self, even though you live with lichen sclerosis, even though it might not feel like that just right now. Yeah.
Absolutely. My whole message from the very beginning has been hope. Hope,
Yeah.
hope, hope. And one of my core tenets, mantras, mottos, whatever you want to say, is you control LS. LS does not control you. And
Yeah.
so I will not let LS dictate what I do in my life. I may have to modify, I may have to, you know, pause some things in a moment, but in my core, it will not change who I am because I will not give it that power.
Yes. I love that. Yeah. That is so good. That is so good. Okay, just to scale it back a little bit here. So we were talking about, I love this on the podcast, by the way, because this happens when I'm talking about myself too. I'm like, oh, I have so many different thoughts and things that I want to say. But going back to, okay, so you have lichen sclerosis, you think that you might have lichen sclerosis, you go into the doctor. At what point do you perhaps give up on that doctor and ask for a second opinion? What do you think?
Yeah. So for me, it's if there's a doctor you're going to and you've done your homework, you at minimum you've been on the overview page, you have a basic understanding of what's going on in your body and how to treat what the acceptable treatments are. And you go to a doctor and they tell you something completely opposite like don't use steroids,
Mm.
or you don't need steroids, or you don't need to continuously treat or manage this condition. Get a second opinion. If they are pushing laser or PRP on you, and that's the first line that they're like, oh yeah, you're going to be cured. If you hear the word cured, run.
Yeah.
um, because LS, unfortunately, right now we don't have a cure. It can be managed. It can be managed long term. Jacqueline has been going. She's on 6 years. I'm on going on my fourth year. I just celebrated 3 years in February of being in remission. And for remission for me means no symptoms, no anatomy changes, no progression. Everything is all good. If I didn't do the work that I do, and have to do my treatment twice a week, I wouldn't know I had LS. So it has to be managed. And if you go into a doctor's office and they are dismissive, they don't want to listen to your questions, they don't have time for you, get another doctor. It's so important that you have trust and you feel secure in your care. It literally makes a difference in your health, not just, not just how you feel about your doctor, but you get a better health outcome when you trust and feel secure and feel like this provider is a partner in your care versus someone who's just going to tell you what to do and get you out of their office.
Hmm. Yeah.
It
No,
really
that's
is.
so true. That's so true. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're so welcome.
And if someone's tuning in on the podcast, they have a partner or a family member that has lichen sclerosis and they don't know how to support them, is there anything that you would say to them, what they would do firsthand?
Yes. First off, number one, believe them. Believe them when they're telling you, you know, they can't do something, even though they might look like they're nothing's going on, nothing's wrong. It's an invisible condition, but it's not. It's invisible because we're not looking at where the condition is happening. So it's kind of like a secreted condition. But when someone tells you, I'd love to go for a walk or a jog today, but I'm just not feeling up to it today, don't try to like be like, oh, you just don't want to spend time, or take it personally, or they don't want to hang out with me or whatever. Don't believe them. The second part is try to be a help, not a hindrance. So if you know that your person is in a flare, if they have communicated to you that they are not doing well, they're in a flare, help them out. You know, reduce the amount of movement that they need to make. Reduce, help, ask them, how can I help you? How can I be of service? Because one of the things that we hear a lot is, you know, friction is not good for LS. So if you're doing a lot of, moving, or not being comfortable, you're just going to make things worse. And then what do we say? Stress
Hmm.
is the number one trigger. So helping them reduce their stress, making sure that they have what they need, just being a good partner or a friend or whatever this person is to you, and helping them wherever they need it. Talk to them. Ask them, what do you need? Don't assume. Um, and so yeah, I think just that's the most important thing, is talking to them, ask them what they need. And it might be they just need you to leave them the fuck alone. That's you
Yeah.
just need to leave.
Well, it's kind of like, you're on your period and you wish your partner would just like understand where you were at. And it's like, you know, take it a little bit further. Okay, maybe I can make them dinner today. Maybe I can
Exactly.
I can cuddle them up into a little burrito in their blanket, put on their favorite TV show. I don't know, but do something cute for them or nice so that they feel cared for and not just seen, but also cared for.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that goes along with the believing, because I think a lot of times when people are not believed or dismissed, that's another thing, when their pain is dismissed, or it's like, never say, if your person is saying, "Oh, I've got really bad itching or burning," and you're a person who has had yeast infections before, never say, "Oh yeah, I know what that feels like. I've had yeast infections."
Oh,
That
that
is
happened to
so
me.
dismissive.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't even want to talk to you no more, because you are invalidating what I'm telling you, and it's not even close to the same.
And it's also
Eh,
not about you. You're opening up about something, and this person makes it about them. And I'm just like,
yeah.
what is happening
I
right here?
think I think people do that though to be relatable, to be
Yeah,
like, I understand you're not alone. But it's
but
so
it's not the
different.
same.
It's
Yeah.
not the same. It is so not the same. And yeah, it's just not the same.
Yeah. No, and that's also another tip for people that might know someone that lives like sclerosis. Like, it's a very it's a vulnerable and exposing condition to live with because it's in such a private part of the body. And like it's a part that we don't often see and we don't talk about it, we don't look about it, and we don't touch it. Definitely do not touch it. So it's really hard to live with a condition like that. So you don't want to feel even more dismissed. Whew. I loved that episode. There's so much power within this woman and the power that she brings to this community. Stay tuned for next week as the second part will be released. And if you're here because you live with lichen sclerosus and you feel like you want to learn more about your condition, about your body, you want to feel more empowered, don't forget to get your ticket to the Holistic Healing Summit. Again, check the show notes for more. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.